That's terrible.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I am Chuck Rogers. I'm a licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Keith Dunn, and I'm a network engineer.
And together we are Tabletop Coffee, trying to do life, do it well.
Being bold and never ever bitter.
And tonight we're continuing with our relationship killing series. We're going to show you how to really just stomp out that relationship by being in control. Stay tuned. We'll show you how it's done.
I can't think of anything much worse than control at killing a relationship.
Yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. If you don't give the other person the ability to think on their own or feel as if they're important and that what they think matters, how can you have a relationship like that?
Yeah, I hear about this an awful lot from people. He's so controlling. She's so controlling.
Right.
And I think that control gets a bad rap. I really do.
How so?
Well, first of all, it is correct that being controlling is likely to kill a relationship.
Right.
But people don't control for control's sake. Being in control is not that fun.
Okay.
People don't control because they're a jerk.
Right.
They come across as if they're a jerk and uncaring and you don't matter.
Okay.
But I don't think that most people control because it's fun or because they're a jerk. I believe that people control because they are...
Probably afraid.
Yeah. That seems to be like everything we talk about on here.
It's all about fear.
It's all about fear making requests, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I do. I believe that most people control because they are afraid.
Okay, so let me share a story about a friend of mine who felt like they were in a situation where they were in control, and let's talk through it and see where the fear came in.
Okay, sure.
Okay? His dad asked him to make him some chicken soup.
All right.
Okay.
Nice request.
Yeah, nice request. No problems there. But the guy was super busy, and he talked to his dad, and he said, "Oh, Dad, can I just go to, a store, or can I go to like Panera and get you some chicken soup there? I really don't have time to be putting together this pot of chicken soup. However, I'll be happy to run by and get you some and take care of it that way." And he said his dad continued to go down that road and never let up.
He went back through the details
He
again?
went back through all the details again of what he needed to do in order to make the chicken soup. I'm not sure whether it was just something that he wanted to his liking and didn't think that something from another location would make it correctly. But I tell you what, if you're not a cook and you're trying to throw something together based on information that you're given, who knows how that's going to turn out. I sure would want Panera chicken soup before
Panera's
that.
got good chicken soup.
Yeah, and it's easy to be able to do that. And it still reflects care and concern because that person was willing to go and spend money, take their time, get whatever they needed. It was a need or want.
Yeah.
And take that to them instead of taking all this time doing something that they don't do all the time.
Yeah.
So let's talk through that scenario.
Well, first of all, how did your friend feel?
He told me he was just feeling really, he was very frustrated at first.
Because he wanted to be helpful.
Because he was really trying so hard to be helpful through that process. But then it got to a point where it was almost angering because he said he felt controlled through that process.
Well, the dad in this situation was being really controlling.
Yeah, so it was a controlling situation. So there was anger there. There was hurt that what he was doing wasn't good enough. There was frustration that it just continued down this path of talking about this one thing and just complete disregard.
Disregard. You don't
another
matter.
way.
Your way of doing it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah. I think that's the message that's given a lot of times, is that your way of doing it isn't sufficient. My way is much better than yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So my belief about this is that the person who is controlling, usually isn't a jerk. Sometimes
Okay.
maybe they are. But I
Okay.
think most of the time they're just fearful. Their fear button is being pushed. They're afraid that the outcome won't be as good if it's not this way.
Okay.
Now, I also find that sometimes some really brilliant people
Okay.
are controlling because they do kind of see the problems this way, they see the wonderful things this way, and they really do want a very good outcome. So
Yeah.
they really push the other person or persons to make sure and do it this way so that there will be this really good outcome for themselves or
Sure.
for the other person.
Well, I have to say, I'll go ahead and tell a story about myself just real quick here, because I kind of fell into that a little bit when I first got married.
Yeah.
And Lisa would be doing something as simple as painting a room. And I would go in there and say, well, it would be a lot faster if you did it this way.
Yeah.
Or, if you do it this way, the strokes will look so much better. And I came to the conclusion, I was a little hard-headed when I was young, but I came to the conclusion after a couple of years, maybe even a few years, where I sat back and said, oh, wow, that's really stupid. That's really not a good way to do that.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I just let Lisa do things however she wanted to do them, and found that her way wasn't anywhere near the way I would do it, but it turned out just fine.
But it was okay.
Yeah, it was great. In fact, there are so many things that she does better than me, and it may take a little more time here or there, but it turns out so much better anyway. I wish I had done that from the very beginning, but I fell into that. I was controlling through that process.
Yeah. Well, you learn. That's the good thing.
Oh yeah, I learned. I would never do that now.
Hey, we hope this has been helpful for you. If you would, we would appreciate it if you go ahead and subscribe if you liked our content.
Yeah, and ding that bell so you're notified of upcoming episodes.
And if you really want to kill that relationship, go out and try to control it.
Yeah, and if you know of someone who is being controlled, or you're being controlled, or you are the controlling person, and want to add some things down in the comments that
that'd be
we
good.
can talk about, that'd be awesome.
And make sure to like it.
Yep, share it with your friends.
Thanks, everybody.
Until next time.